surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart, and that will relieve him from all kinds of miseries of this material existence. By such surrender, not only will one be released from all the miseries of in this life, at the end he will reach the Supreme God. The transcendental world is described in the Vedic literature, Rig Veda 1.22.20 as Sad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Since all of creation is the kingdom of God, everything material is actually spiritual. But Paramam Padam specifically refers to the eternal abode, which is called the spiritual sky of Vaikuntha. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishtaha. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart. So this recommendation that one should surrender unto the Super Soul sitting within means that one should surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna has already been accepted by Arjuna as the Supreme. He was accepted in the 10th chapter as Param Brahma Param Dhama. Arjuna has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Supreme Abode of all living entities, not only because of his personal experience, but also because of the evidence of great authorities like Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas. Om Agyanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sapatam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahim Nadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shritav Patakalamam Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishamam Shashi Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parishana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakan Matamsha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namusate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vikasa Swamiti Namane Nija Guru Harivanya Krishna Chitto Vichanto Parihita Pitrige Hadyanda Samsara Kupaha Prabhu Bhajana Sukabdo Madjayan Swamsa Vishwa Bhuvijayati Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachati Satarine Vagishaya Sevadane Lakshmi Yasya Shivakshase Yasyase Hridaye Samvatam Nrsimham Aham Bhaje Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Girim Yet Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Yasya Devi Parabhaktir Yata Devi Tata Guru Tasyaite Katita Hyarta Prakashante Mahatmanaha. So this is a very amazing purport the Srila Prabhupada writes, and it's a great verse where Krishna is asking us to surrender. Surrender unto Him utterly. Krishna is asking us to surrender unto Him utterly. And this is a very interesting point to note that Krishna Himself recommends surrender to Himself. So one may think, wow, this is a very narcissistic person. Isn't it narcissistic? Like, oh, you surrender unto me. I'm the one you should serve, But it's actually the constitutional position of the living entity to be the servant, and it's Krishna's constitutional position to be the served. And when this relationship with Krishna is in harmony, of the servant and the served. Thank you so much. I was reading that. Oh man, how am I going to do this? Sorry about that. But we can see that over here, when Krishna is speaking about being served, Krishna is asking us to serve Him and surrender unto Him utterly. And when we do so, we will, that's His instruction that He's giving us. And by doing so, we will attain supreme peace, transcendental peace, and we'll attain the eternal abode of Krishna. So one may think, why does it have to be like that? Why can't it be any other way? The answer is simple. Well, it is like that because Krishna wants it like that. It's easy. Krishna wants it like that, therefore it is like that. And there's nothing we can do to change it. Because Krishna is a transcendental autocrat. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur calls Krishna the transcendental autocrat. But the thing with Krishna is he's not some kind of a despot or a control freak. If you read the Bhagavad Gita 5:29, Krishna says, Bhoktaram jagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantam richati. That you should know that Krishna is three things. It's very important. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and he's the supreme controller, and above all, he is the supreme friend. If Krishna was not all these three things, then it would more or less be pretty useless. If he's your supreme friend, okay, awesome. And if he's a supreme enjoyer, great. But if he was not the supreme proprietor, then what's the use? You can want to enjoy something, but if it's not yours, how will you enjoy it? If Krishna was the supreme proprietor, and he was your supreme friend, but not the supreme enjoyer, you would still suffer. Why? Because, okay, he's your supreme friend, great, he's the owner of everything, but you can own something but not enjoy it. Right? Like, for example, like a person, he may be like a really wealthy person and all this, and he meets with a car accident at a very young age, at the age of 30, and he is like bedridden for the rest of his life. And he's basically like a vegetable on his deathbed. So he's a proprietor of all his properties, he's a proprietor of all his riches, but he's not the enjoyer, so what's the use? The enjoyer is someone else who's just making sure this guy is alive so they can enjoy the property. And what's even worse is if Krishna is a supreme proprietor and supreme enjoyer, but he's not your friend, then you're completely doomed. Why? Because imagine someone who owns everything and is the enjoyer of everything and he doesn't like you. So then you're in a really bad situation. But Krishna is all these three things. Supreme friend, supreme proprietor, and supreme enjoyer. And that is actually the beauty of Krishna consciousness, is to realize and understand that. That when we surrender to Krishna utterly, we will realize that this entire and everything that we see around us is actually simply paraphernalia meant for the glorification of Krishna. That we can see whatever we have in this world, if we use it in the service of Krishna, it becomes a very transcendental object. That's why Krishna consciousness always promotes renunciation. But not dry renunciation, but applied renunciation. Dry renunciation means, if something belongs to this world, I don't want the world. I'm going to run away from the world. But applied renunciation is looking at the world as being the property of Krishna and using it to serve Krishna. It's like if you see someone walking on the road and you see $100 bill falling out of their pocket. So if you're a person of good character, you'll immediately pick up that bill and go give that person back their $100. If you're a person of a slimy character, then you would steal them and you would use it for yourself. But the thing is that the minute you start to use it for yourself, you start to acquire sin. You start to do things like that. In New York, there was this one person. It was in the subway, and then they were very drunk, and you can see that from their thing is clearly sticking out a $20 bill. And here he's drunk and he's moving here and then moving here and there, and everyone can see that he has a $20 bill. And some people are thinking, should we steal it? No, never mind. But then they take this one young hotshot. He's like, you know what? I got it. I'm going to steal this $20 bill that's hanging out of this person's pocket. So then he goes to grab the $20 bill, and as he's grabbing the $20 bill, he has handcuffs on him. It was a cop pretending to be drunk to see who's a thief and who's not. So we see that this material world also, we may think in the proprietor and with the enjoyers, but the minute we start to enjoy and we think, no one's going to catch us, what's the big deal? Immediately we are bound by the shackles of the three modes of material nature. We're bound up in this material world by the reactionary works of by the chains of reactionary and actionary works. By the chain of action and reaction, we're bound in this world. So Krishna recommends that we surrender unto him utterly. And by doing so, we'll actually be freed from the pangs of material existence. So much bliss and so much joy is there in the process of Krishna consciousness. All this is there. And, and the thing is that Krishna himself is a blissful person. Like a person takes upon the quality of the master. And, and the master also takes upon the quality of the servant, sometimes we see. Anyway, I guess, we don't see that so much, but we definitely see that the servant takes upon the quality of the master. Person is walking his dog on the street. Who's the master and who's the servant? Who's the master, who's the servant?
Dog's the master.
Is the dog the master or is the person the master?
The person's like the servant.
Huh?
The person's the servant.
Like, exactly, right? The person is the servant. Why? Because he's like taking care of the dog, picking up its stool, putting it in the garbage, feeding him, taking him to the vet, putting him in his own bed, putting him in his own bedroom, putting him on top of his own bed, taking him wherever he goes, eating of the, some people I've seen they eat of the same. Like, it was so crazy. Like in New York, I remember when we were doing Harinam, there was like this couple, they would come and they would sit with us and do Harinam, and like their dog was thirsty, it was a hot day. So, you have your bottle, and the bottle has the lid. So they had like this green bottle and it had like a lid that you open and you can just drink water like that. So it had like this big concave lid. So what they did was they took out the lid, put it like this, and poured some of the water out. And the dog drank from the water, and they closed it. And after some time, when they were thirsty, they drank from the same bottle. Dog life, dog worship. So we don't think, so then we can say who is really the master, who is the servant. And then you can obviously see that the person is a servant and the dog is the master. And you can actually, if you really observe this, and this is really amazing, that when you see a person who has a dog, they kind of look like their dog. Anyone notice that? You noticed that before?
I thought you were about to say that.
They look like their dog, actually.
Yeah.
They look just like their dog, actually, if you look at it. And their behavior is just like their dogs. If the dog is like a mellow, lazy guy, that guy is a mellow, lazy guy too. The owner is a mellow, lazy guy. If like the dog is like this, like that, the guy is also like that, like hot shot, razzmatazz guy, like the dog. And takes upon the qualities of the person he's serving, So when we serve Krishna, we take upon the qualities of Krishna also. It's a very simple thing, actually, When we serve Krishna, we also naturally take upon the qualities of Krishna. It's no like massive rocket science. It's simple common sense. You take upon the qualities of Krishna. You take upon the qualities of Krishna being like, and so many things you can see. Actually, I was talking to Jonah today, and I was telling him that, before I came into the association of devotees and came into this, consciousness of trying to be Krishna conscious, I was a very big womanizer. And I was telling him, very big womanizer, addicted to intoxication and all this. Addicted to meat eating also, actually. And then I was telling him I was such a rascal. I had 3 girlfriends at the same time. Many people think, wow, it's enjoyment. But now that when I look back, it was really suffering. It was really bad, actually. And then I was thinking, like, when someone told me about the 4 regulative principles of Krishna consciousness, I thought, there's no way in the world will I be able to follow the 4 regulative principles. How is that possible? Like, no gambling, fine, all right. I could do that. I was too young to gamble, I guess. But no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, forget it. I really thought, forget it, this is crazy, I cannot do this. But the potency of chanting Hare Krishna and the potency of Krishna Prasadam is so amazing that Krishna speaks about this in the 15th chapter, 15th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridisa nivishto matasmritir jnana apohanam cha vedesha sarve rahameva vedya vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Krishna says, from him comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So, one may ask, what's the use of forgetfulness, But we can see Krishna makes us forget all our previous desires. We may have a desire to do so many things. And Krishna helps us forget our sinful propensities. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, I was more or less a demon, actually. I still am, but put on a good show these days. But back then, it was pretty obvious, It's pretty obvious. And somehow or the other, those desires are not there anymore. Now the same foodstuffs, which I used to find very delicious, now even the thought of them churns my stomach. I remember meeting my Karmi friends after a long time. They're like, yeah, bro, come on, let's go have lunch. I'm like, no. He said, no, we'll go to the same place that you really like and this particular like item, which is very abominable that you like to eat. And at the very thought of it, I was like, oh my God, I cannot eat that. No way. No way. I can't do that anymore. Krishna removes our sinful propensities, actually. Krishna removes our remembrance of it. Krishna removes our taste for it. Krishna removes all these things. It's a very important thing to know, actually. So when Krishna says, surrender unto him utterly, he's not asking us to do something that is alien to us. He's asking us to do something that is very natural to us. That's why there's this verse, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Ka Bunai. Who knows the rest of this verse? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koro Yoda. It's a very important verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Ka Bunai. That Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, that love for Krishna, Nitya Siddha, is eternally present within the heart of the living entity. Sadhya Ka Bunai. You do not need anything external in order for you to realize that, in order for you to know that. Why? All you need to do is Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kora Euda. All you need to do is listen to the bona fide spiritual master speak about the bona fide scriptures, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte. Then your consciousness is purified. Kora Euda. Then all your remembrance of your relationship with Krishna will come back. So this is a very important thing to note, that Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind, but is a very natural position of the living entity. And we chant the holy name of Krishna and we dedicate a certain section of the time of the day to chant the holy names of Krishna. Krishna reciprocates very much with that desire. Wow. So amazing. These guys want to chant my holy name. That's so nice. And I want to reciprocate with the devotees accordingly. And then, Krishna thinks it's amazing thing. Na pariyeham, I cannot repay the devotees, therefore I will give myself to the devotees. And if a person is intelligent, they will understand that who is more valuable? What is more valuable? Is the property more valuable or the proprietor more valuable? Anyone else? What do you think? What do you think?
He can acquire more property.
Proprietor.
Why?
Because the property is his property.
Yes. And?
You need more property.
And if his property goes away, he'll get more property.
Yeah.
Common thing we can even see in the Battle of Kurukshetra. You want me or my armies? Krishna tells. You can either have me or you can have my armies. And Prabhupada has this amazing thing in teachings of Lord Kapila where he says, Arjuna, for a moment he thought, wow, I could take Krishna's army, but he thought, no, I should take Krishna. Because property is less valuable than the proprietor. So similarly, Krishna, he thinks, yes, all this paraphernalia in this world is that I could give it to the devotee, but I will rather give myself to him. Because when I give myself to him, when I give myself to the devotee, that's the best thing I could give. That's why Krishna, he's known as a very merciful person. Krishna gives himself. And Prabhupada writes this very revolutionary statement in the Nectar of Devotion where he says that devotional service is more strong than God himself. Why? Because Krishna becomes completely controlled by the love of his devotee. So people may think, I want to be God. But we call them all stupid fools. You know why? Because you can become more than God by loving God and serving God with all your heart and soul. Think about it. Mother Yashoda is there, she's, Krishna is dancing all night with the gopis. Then he comes back and he pretends like he's sleeping and then he maybe sleeps for like a few minutes, like 5 minutes or something. And then Mother Yashoda, he sleeps for 5 minutes. Mother Yashoda comes and wakes him up. And when Mother Yashoda wakes him up, Krishna has to wake up. He says, do you know who I am? I am God. He doesn't tell that to his mom. No. Mother Yashoda is saying, wake up means wake up. That's all. There's no question. So, I'm the Supreme. So many universes come out of me. There's a Krishna can speak Bhagavad Gita to her. And tell Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. And this, that, and the other thing. Mother Yashoda is not going to have it. You're waking up right now because you have to eat. You're going to be hungry. And Krishna listens to her. From one point of view, Mother Yashoda is simply a simple village woman. But she's Krishna's mom. And Krishna listens to her. He listens to her at all costs. Why? Because devotional service is stronger than Supreme Personality. He's controlled by love. The president may be a very, very important person, but he's completely controlled by the love of his grandson. He may have an important business meeting with the president of Russia, and this and the other thing could be going on. But if the grandson comes, all that meeting and the attention, all that goes away, and the grandfather becomes a horse, and the grandson plays horsey with the grandfather and sits on his back and rides around the grandfather, the great president. So that is the power of devotional service. And we surrender unto him utterly. Krishna is saying, if you surrender unto me utterly, I will surrender unto you utterly. To your degree of surrender, Krishna rewards accordingly. So you surrender utterly to Krishna. Krishna gives himself to you. What more can you ask for? And it's very simple. The process is very simple. We very attentively have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a very simple thing. We associate with devotees, we practice Krishna consciousness, and Krishna becomes indebted to us. There's no big deal actually. But it is a very big deal, because we're talking about God, talking about Krishna. So, this is our humble request that we should all take to Krishna consciousness very seriously. And by doing so, that'll be very amazing. So, I'll end the class here. If there's any questions or comments, we can take them now. Anyone has any questions? Okay. You want to talk to me? Okay, answer the call.
I'll call him.
Yeah. Any questions or comments?
Well, I never thought about it till you talked about it, about how his mother, Yashoda,
Yeah.
serving Krishna is still it's devotional service to Krishna.
Give me a class.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's the type of relationship though, as a child.
Parent, as a child to the parent, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You could control Krishna like a
That's
parent.
devotional service. She wasn't even really aware. It was
Love, it was spontaneous love for Krishna.
She didn't know it was crazy.
Yeah, the Supreme
Just
Person.
her child.
It's just her child. To the degree that, the essence of godness is a sweetness. Madhurya Bhagavatasar. The essence of godness is a sweetness. So when we understand this point, that, Krishna is a supremely sweet person, then everything about Krishna is also sweet. Devotional service about Krishna is also sweet. So, he's completely controlled by the love of his devotees. That's why love for the devotees is more powerful than God himself. Anything else anyone has?
I know many people have conception of God as the Father.
Yeah.
And even Srila Prabhupada, he says we should cry out to God like a baby crying for its mother. And we're all children of God.
Yeah.
And said things like this. But that's not a particular rasa. Like there's no word for that, is there? It's kind of like Dasya rasa.
I mean, yeah, you can see that Pradyumna is Krishna's son.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read in the Krishna book, you can see the relationship that they had, how he behaved around Krishna.
Mm-hmm. So that is like one of the rasas.
Yeah, that is one of the rasas.
Mm-hmm.
God the Father, God the Son. There's a lecture, you can hear it.
God the Father, God the Son.
Yeah.
We don't seem to see much of that in Goloka Vrindavan. More,
Yeah.
The more
Dwaraka.
reference is more in the Vaikuntha planet.
It's in Dwaraka actually.
Okay, outside.
Yeah, and because in Vaikuntha it's primarily Dasya Rasa. And then there is a tinge of Sakhya Rasa, but it's called Gaurava Sakhya, which means like friendship on a very person to person respect, on the platform of respect.
Okay.
It's not like straight up, friendship like they have in the spiritual world in Goloka Vrindavan. Anything else?
Got a question?
Yes.
So Krishna's pastimes, they're eternal, like they're always ever present.
Yeah, they always going. Remember you looked at a picture and you asked me what's going on here, and I told you like the unlimited universe is coming out of the pores of Mahavishnu. So, Krishna, whichever planet he goes, he has his pastimes for 125 years wherever he goes. So, if Krishna, let's just say there's 10 universes, okay? So in 1 second, Krishna appears in one universe, and another second passes.
Oh, it's all expansions.
Right. So Krishna appears in one universe, okay, and then 1 second passes. And in the second, there's the second in the first universe, but in the second universe is the first second. And Krishna appears there again. And the third universe, after 3 seconds, is the first second in the first one. The third second in the first one. And like that it goes. So Krishna's pastimes are going on eternally. So that is what it means, Krishna's pastimes. And then, of course, Krishna's pastimes are also going on in the spiritual world. So we understand like that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else?
I guess it's just like how there is a sunrise on this planet in every second of the day.
Yeah.
The sun is rising somewhere.
Right.
So in a larger scale, Krishna pastime goes on.
Yeah.
He's appearing, he's being born in some planet. At some planet, he's performing a different pastime.
He's lifting the go within him.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like the sun, here it's 9:01. But then if you actually were to see, it's going to be 9:01 somewhere else after a few minutes. It's like 9 o'clock here. It's 9 a.m. in Japan, I guess. Right? Japan is like 12 hours away, I think. Yeah. 12 hours ahead of time. In India, it's like 8:30 a.m. right now.
Yeah.
So it's 7:30 a.m., something like that, yeah. So like, it's 9 o'clock somewhere all the time. So Krishna's pastimes are also going on always. Good question. Cool. Yeah. Krishna's a really cool guy. A supremely cool guy. Supreme cool. Anything else?
Shannon, do you have a comment or question?
No? Okay, alright. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Chandan, I'm going to call you, right? I need to call you and Vishnu, right?
No, I just wanted to see if we can speak.
Oh, okay.
He said he wanted to talk. I told him that you're busy.
I can call now.
You sure?
Yeah.
You want to talk to him?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. So tomorrow, 9:30, I think the gig starts.
Okay, let's make it work. Let's make it work.
There's one farmer's market. I don't know if it's good enough for 4 people.
No, we should go to 2.
There's only one